Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Out here in the garden, the little garden that's around the edge of the lanai. Remember, we just removed the grass. From here to plant the red palms and the other decorative type of plants and shrubs that we're going to be putting around here, just like we did around the perimeter wall. But along with this being spring going into summer, and everything is in full bloom, so are the weeds, and so are the little sprouts from the grass that used to be right here. So one of the things that you have to do is you have to do a lot of stuff at the very beginning of pulling up your grass and planting a garden around your house, and we're going to talk about that when we get into the beginning of today's episode. But that's not what today's episode is about. It's not about weeding, because that's not very interesting, and most people don't really get too engaged in weeding their garden. Well, anyway, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Now, when you first pull your grass out to do your garden around the side of your house from an established grass base like we have right here, you really need to get a lot. You need to go deep. You need to churn up the soil, and I'll show you here in just a moment, and get as much of the roots and the live growth from the old grass as possible. Now, this isn't the grass. This is a weed. This is a weed grass, and it will grow really big. You can tell this is different from this right here. And what a lot of people do, they'll yank this from here and it will break off, and the root will still be inside the ground, and what will happen is this will grow right back again. So what you have to do, you have to get this all the way, you have to get it from the root. You have to get all of this out and throw this away so that it doesn't grow back again. But what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be digging up really deep, and I'm going to be pulling up little things like this right here, because this is this grass over here, and this will grow back again. So enough about this right here. Like I said, we're not talking today about doing weeding, because that's not a really popular subject. Although some people find weeding, they find it therapeutic, pulling up those weeds and getting rid of those. And I kind of find it a little therapeutic too myself. But I want to show you a couple of things that I did over the past couple days around the backyard. No, we're not going for a walk yet. Well, let me show you on the back side of the house what I've done over the last couple of days. Well, really not the last couple of days. It only took me a very short time. But remember, I was transplanting the grass that we just pulled up from the area around the lanai that's going to be the basis for some garden shrubs and some plants around there to make that area look nice. Now, I've transplanted that grass over here. You saw some of it each day when I'm cleaning up around some of the citrus trees, and I have some new lush growth of grass. I keep putting it back here. Now, what I've also done, I'm sharing some of my fruits with my neighbors as well. So they both, the neighbors on both the back side here and on the side of our house over there, they said if you have any of your banana plants that you want to put over in that area, or papaya, go ahead and do that. So that's what I kind of did here. Now, this is my lantundan from the lantundan on the other side of the bahay kubo over there. I even put some oregano around here. I planted a small papaya. We'll see how this one does. It's in a little bit of a transplant shock right now, but hopefully it will do okay. As well as another lantundan here and another papaya over here. So as I'm pulling things out of the yard, I'll continue to morning. So what I'll continue to do, I'll continue to start putting it on both this side over here as well is my other neighbor's yard back over here on this side. Now, something else I worked on yesterday, oh by the way, these are the cucumbers that used to be in this little area. Well, they were growing so fast at such a high rate above everything else. I decided to go ahead and move it over to this container. And the thing about cucumber plants, they look real healthy and they're really big, but the root structure at the very beginning they're very, very small, so you have to be very careful. You should really let them stay in a container, and they should be planted in a bigger container and not mixed with other things like I have over here, and separate, and then put them inside the garden once we get some a little about this high right here, and we have a better root structure. Then we'll put it over in the garden, and hopefully it can rise up along the fencing that we have on the backside, the nylon fencing. Now this is something I did yesterday also. This was the avocado tree. Remember this avocado tree that used to sit in the holding place inside the raised bed garden? Well, I decided to put it here in a pot because I can't plant this avocado in this backyard. This avocado is a standard. It's not a hybrid. It is not a dwarf variety, and it would be so big we can't put it in the backyard because it would take over the entire backyard. But what we can do in this pot, we can grow it in here. The pot will restrict the root growth inside here, and we can do some aggressive pruning on this so we can get a nice plant here, and maybe even get some avocados. Now it's in a little bit of shock right now. You can see the wilting of the leaves. It was really healthy back there when it was sitting inside the raised bed garden. But after a couple of days, if it takes fine and I didn't damage the roots that much, it will start recovering and we'll get a nice plant back here. Let's take a quick look inside the house, because after we worked on the banana project yesterday, we had a lot of green bananas, which is what we used. The green saba is what we used for the banana chips, but we had a lot of ripening bananas, ripening yellow bananas, and they look like this. So what Ness did, she said, we're not going to waste bananas, we're not wasting food. So I know she's working inside the kitchen right now. Let's go see what she's doing with the bananas.
Okay.
What you doing with the bananas?
It's a banana operation because I need to cook all these bananas. So I have boiled bananas, ginatan, and so I'm making the dough for the malakit balls, and I'll be making turon. So it's banana operation.
I
You're
think
gonna love this.
I think what we're gonna have to do we'll do an episode later. If this comes out good, I'll let you know if it comes out good. And if it comes out good, we'll have to do a recipe. Ness will show you how she prepares all of this. Sound good?
Okay.
So you're probably saying, James, I remember you used to have a calamansi inside that plant. What'd you do with your calamansi? Well, I moved it out here. I had a red palm planted in this spot right here, but I pulled it out because I don't think this one particular spot here is really good for a red palm. And I would like to have a calamansi right here and grow a little bit bushy, so as I come off the porch right here, I can go over it and I can pick some calamansi right here. I just want to show you the difference between a standard avocado, which this is right off the shelf, getting an avocado in the grocery store, in the supermarket. And I did a episode. This actually was the seed from an episode that I did when I used to live in the apartment in the barangay. And I put the toothpicks inside there. I got it to root, and that's what this one is right here. Again, this will end up being huge. I want you to look at the size of the leaves on here. Okay, you see that compared to the size of my hand. Now let me show you in contrast what a dwarf avocado looks like, and that's this right here. This is a dwarf. This one will be very manageable. I planted this almost 2 years ago. Got this at Mahogany Market, but I want you to look at the size of the leaves here compared to the size of the leaves over there. And that one is about 3 years old, and this is about 2 years old right here. Now, it's kind of funny how some plants do well in certain locations and some plants don't do quite as well in different locations. Case in point, this is a cashew tree. This is a cashew tree. I love the color of the leaves on this cashew tree. And this cashew tree is doing great. It's growing at a good rate. It's very healthy looking. I bought 2 of these. If you go back to the episode from when we were at Mahogany Market, 2 of these. This is one, and the other one is right here. This is the same cashew tree. I bought them both at the same time, but they're both reacting differently. This one, it's healthy. The leaves look good, but I don't have so many leaves. I have some new growth down here, you can see. This one gave me flowers this year. Lots of flowers, lots of blossoms and flowers. No flowers or blossoms for that, but huge growth. And this one right here, lots of flowering. They were pretty. They're starting to dry out now. So I don't know what the difference is between here and there. I know that gets a lot of water over there. So that could possibly have to do the difference between that one and this one over here. We'll continue to monitor the 2 of these. Now, I know you remember I talked about doing the trimming of the bolete tree here, and that's exactly what I did. You see the bolete tree, I did some more shaping over the top, and I cut a lot of the thickness of the growth inside. I opened up the inside, and that should slow down a lot of the growth and the expansion of the bolete inside the retaining wall area. Remember, we don't want it to get too big, so we'll keep aggressive pruning on this tree here. And something else I did, remember, this is the grafted, this is the graphic Guyabano. I didn't do this I didn't show you this the other day, and that was putting a plastic bag on to promote blossoming on the new branch that's connected to the stock. I did this. You can see there's a little bit of moisture inside there. Now, if this is a successful grafting, what will happen, and what we're going to be looking for anywhere inside here, we're going to look for something that looks like a bud, something like this growth right here. We want to see that inside here. If it doesn't happen and this dries out, it means we didn't have a good graft along the graft connection right here. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm going to get back to the yard work, but before I do get back to the yard work, I just want to give you an update. Ness and I tried some experimentation yesterday. We made a bunch more of the banana chips. You can see this one is full, and this one was full, but we kind of overindulged on banana chips yesterday. We kind of really enjoyed eating banana chips in the afternoon and evening time last night with a movie. But our experimenting was, we wanted to see if there was any improvement that we can do over the episode that I did the other day. And by the way, speaking of that episode, I'm going to leave a info link either here or over here in one of the places that will show you that link to the banana chip, how to make banana chip video that I did just a few days ago. That was a great episode, and that recipe is proven. They were perfect. Those chips were perfect. But as you can see, we have different levels. I don't know if you can see, we have different levels of color in here. A light, getting a little darker, to a little darker right here. We tried to see if we could improve on the crispiness and on the texture of the banana chips. But the one on the video that I gave you the link to, and I'll put a link in today's description block too for that episode, it was perfect. So we weren't able to do any improvement that I can think of. We also tried something different. Instead of doing it in a frying pan outside on our gas, we tried cooking it with an electric frying pan. We did that on the inside last night, and it just takes longer. Even with the heat all the way to the top, it took us longer to cook the banana chips. Okay, so before I close today, I just want to address a few of the comments that people say on our channel, some of the comments that were posted. And we have really collected a lot of new subscribers over the last, I'm going to say the last 60 days. Our subscriber base is growing quite fast. Not as fast as the coronavirus is spreading, unfortunately, but we are growing. And with that, with having a bunch of new subscribers that just jump into the queue of our videos and are just watching the new videos, they keep asking a lot of the questions that we answered in many of our older videos. And it has to do with home construction. It has to do about purchasing land over here. It has to do with visas. It happens to do with many of the topics that were already covered in a lot of the older videos. So, if you are new to the channel, I encourage you to go back to the very beginning. And if you don't want to watch the 600 plus videos that we have, which is kind of interesting because a lot of people say it's like a television series, you can watch the evolution of what goes on in the Philippine community here. But if you have questions about all these different kind of things, I pretty much answered them in many of the videos. And it has to do with, when it comes to construction, about concrete mixtures. It's about rebar diameters for steel reinforcement. It's for selection of windows, selection of doors, selection of kitchen appliances, all these different things. These were answered in many of the Villa Feliz episodes over the past 3 years. So if you get an opportunity, please go back and see if you can find those if you have questions about building, also about travel in the Philippines, also about, like I said, visa, getting a driver's license, getting car insurance. All these different things were covered inside here. Qualification, what's your qualification? Do you know, maybe you don't know, but as a foreigner, you just can't come into the Philippines and buy property over here. There are specific requirements that you have to be able to live here in the Philippines, and I answer all those questions in the series here on our channel. Also, another question that keeps coming up lately is, James, when are you going to shave your beard? When are you going to get a haircut? I can't tell you how many comments I get on that, both on Facebook and on our channel, and via emails as well. I've been accused of trying to be a double of Rip Van Winkle, of Santa Claus. And the list just goes on. Now, I've been toying with the idea, since I can't get to a barber, the barber shops are not open downtown. I've been toying with the idea of doing my own haircut, self-haircut. Of course, it's easy to shave a beard, but doing a self-haircut is a little bit more of a challenge. I'm going to dwell on that just a little bit more. Let me know your opinion. Have you ever done your own self-haircut? I have clippers. I have the electric clippers inside the house. I might try to do that. I think that would make for an interesting episode, don't you? We'll see. Anyway, well, I'm going to close from here right now. I got to go back over, do some more of the weeding in the garden, get rid of those grass roots. I got 2 dogs to wash today, and I have some editing to do and answer some of your questions and comments on the YouTube channel. Well, thank you very much for this short episode this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll continue to try to keep you updated. I hope you and your families and friends around the world are staying safe, doing what's necessary to be able to put this coronavirus COVID-19 situation away so that we can go back to life as normal. Well, with that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little MPID Dream Heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You will be subscribed and you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. So until such time, you have a safe and wonderful day. if you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.